I'm gonna read over this all these posts and then reply, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.
All right, see you.
Yep, have fun tonight.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. 2 days ago, you exited the swamps of the Neck and then slowly walked south. The road has been particularly barren, only crossing paths with one wagon heading north that quickly sped by with no intention of making conversation. The weather has been abysmal. It has rained every night. Now each of you know the meaning of hedge nights as you find cover under trees and brush where you can. Freezing cold and out of food, you hope signs of civilization can be found soon. At dusk, you spot what is clearly a small outpost of soldiers with temporary fortifications of wooden walls and sharpened poles surrounding a large pavilion and smaller tents. The banner of House Frey flaps above, and the soldiers watch the road to the north and south. There's no way to escape their view now as outriders gallop in your direction. What do you guys do?
Well, we're not going to have people on horses, so I mean, Ian is probably just going to continue on his way. Maybe move off to the side out of the way of the horses.
Araldus stops and makes no attempt to draw his weapons, knowing there's no point, especially with mounted men. So he stands and waits for the people to greet him.
Yeah, general kind of same response, really. I mean, there's no point trying to run away from or walk away from them, and we're on the Kingsroad, so. And we have no quandaries with the phrase, so. Qualms, I should say.
Yeah, Claire just kind of, as teen girls are wont to do, sort of hides herself behind the two men.
Okay. There's 6 horsemen that come, and the one in front is dressed with heavy clothing or heavy armor, and he pulls back his visor and looks down at you, and he's like, "Halt! Who goes there? This is the Frey's road."
I'm Ian Spire, and this is our Dulce, and this is my daughter Claire. Seemed to run afoul in the neck. We were making our way down south from the north from where we had landed, seeking to find some rest and restitution.
The mounted man looks down at you, and he looks down at Claire and then Araldus, and he's like, "That's a strange sword on your side there."
Yes, Aldous is my intendant, he says lightly. He's been guarding my family for years now.
Araldus kind of just lets Ian speak for himself and stands there and shrugs.
He hails from Bravos.
The man clears his throat, and he's like, "Fine. Come to camp and we'll talk further." And he turns and rides off, and the other horses slow and walk next to you as you head south. They're obviously flanking you and taking you down the road.
There's just like a slight limp in Ian's leg. He got half his leg torn off by a lizard lion and it's been poorly treated.
Yeah, you have an injury still. Alright, so you're going to just head down there?
Araldus will continue, to be quiet and follow them, knowing that they don't have much choice. And
yeah, I mean, we'll be herded like sheep, but we will be attentive sheep nonetheless.
So they don't show you any obvious signs of, any reason to think they would hurt you or anything. They're just taking you down the road, and eventually they bring you into their fortifications and lead you over to the tents. And they actually, as you get there, they provide you with a small amount of food for each of you and chairs to sit in. And eventually the man that greeted you on the road walks in and pulls off his helm and sits it on the table and sits across from you, wiping his brow. He's like, "First, introductions. I'm Sir Evers Weatherford." "And you are?" "You said Ian Spire, and this is your daughter. What's her name?"
Claire. We had run afoul coming from, well, I'm sure you would have known me from some point. I'm a Stormlander. Was a lord there until my family was ousted. And he kind of looks dours and, bluff. Am I allowed to roll a bluff with this?
Yeah.
I am now in exile for colluding with the Targaryen girl and seek to avail my profit and my ability to someone who deserves them.
So Evers leans back and steeples his hand in front of his face, and he's like, "Is that so?"
Aye, that it is.
He's like, "Fortunately, I have a task for someone. Perhaps a man that is gifted with speech, and a man with the sword, if need be, but perhaps not. I don't know what you know, Ian Spire, but we are at war."
I have not heard these news. You're at war with whom?
"The Riverlands, as usual."
No doubt they want their land back, or to take yours.
Yeah, he raises a brow. He's like, "This is the twins' land."
Rightly so.
Is it true King Walter still rules these lands?
"It is true. The rumors do persist that he is of ill health, but even a man of his venerable age is still quite well."
It's astounding. I haven't seen Lord Frey in some years.
"You know Lord Frey. King
I've only
Frey."
met him- I've only met him in passing, back when he was just a mere lord, but he is a king, as you say now. It was only when I was a wee young lad myself.
He's like, "Either way,
To one
King Walter is beyond worry for these conversations. We have something different to deal with.
And what may that be?
There is a motley crew that we are currently engaged in skirmishes. They are, well, House Mallister. And if you wish to cross our road, and it doesn't look like you are moving too fast without horses, we may be able to come to some sort of agreement. Aid us, and we will aid you on your way."
Well, if I can be of any assistance, I would endear to do so.
Out of combat real quick, how much do people know about the Red Wedding?
Roll your knowledge streetwise. You got to realize that was over 20 years ago, or close to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody else can roll knowledge too. It happened pretty much the same as it happens in the books. Yeah, Claire doesn't even know what the Red Wedding is. But but Ian knows the basic details, right?
Can I roll status? Something to just find out. Let me see.
What are you trying to
Find out
do?
about House. I want to know a little bit more about House Mallister.
Yeah, status or knowledge.
They're super awesome.
Oh god, just wait. That's why
I
there's
know.
no way we could not do this session without you.
Would reputation be a thing, or?
I would have to. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Yeah, so House Mallister is basically in the Cape of Eagles. They are a bannerman, probably the largest bannerman of House Tully. And historically, they've defended the Cape of Eagles from the Ironborn. But you do know that there's been fighting in the Riverlands, or what were the Riverlands now. Essentially the twins in the Riverlands, and they've been one of the main combatants against the Freys.
Ah, yes, Mallister. I've done some reading on the subject, and I am privy to such a knowledge. I know a bit about them, you could say. You would have us speak to them?
I would have you speak to someone specifically. There is a hamlet not far by with one of their traitors, and we want you to bring them to us. Tell them whatever you need to bring them to a certain spot that I will give you the directions to. My men will go with you and wait, and when you bring them back, we will fall upon them and capture them.
And who is this individual we are looking for?
We don't know. We have rumors that it might be Colin North or one of his men.
No, to do this, speaking terms, if I were to do this for you and we succeed, what are we to expect out of this?
We will supply you with 3 horses and enough rations for a week, and perhaps some coin for your way. And you can roll we can do a full intrigue. My plan was we can do a full intrigue if you want to bargain with him.
Oh no, I just want to attempt the bargain roll. I don't. This doesn't require a full intrigue unless the other 2 characters want to have that. Like if you guys want it, I'll do it. But otherwise,
well, if you're going to try to deceive him and not come through on your end of the bargain, then I would require a full intrigue.
Well, I think Ian's a little bit more conniving than that, so I think he is going to try to just deceive him and maybe see if he can play both sides of the gate on this one. And,
okay, so let's do an intrigue then. So this intrigue will be a actual full by the book intrigue. I wanted to try one in this way. So essentially, here's the thing, right? I need to know your dispositions to this guy. What do you think about him?
Evers, what was his last name?
Weatherford.
All right, so he's obviously a lord, correct? Do you have any information about him?
He's insignificant enough that you would not know. He's probably a knight, you would assume, but
okay, he doesn't have his own manners, and he doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. He's just like a troop commander, leader of men.
Yeah, I mean he's guarding the road, right? So, I mean, how important could he really be?
Yeah, he couldn't be all that important. Yeah, no, I think I'll just skip that. He's obviously not that well-to-do. I think. Let's see what else. I mean, the only problem I would have with this fellow, is that he's, a bannerman of the Freys, and maybe that because, and maybe Ian has a little bit of malcontent to this guy just because he was married to a northerner once.
Okay, that's fine. So what would you say it would be? Dislike?
It's not like, I would never do business with him. It's just like I would never hang out in a bar with him.
Or indifferent?
Indifference would be the thing. I imagine Ian Haight doesn't really care for the phrase. He cares for the, but he understands that loyalty is a thing. So
okay, so indifferent. What about the rest of you?
Indifferent. I have no reason to know or like this person.
Claire?
Claire's a pretty girl from a bad part of town, peasant, inherently distrustful of men.
Dislike, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right, so just so you know, the indifferent have a DR of 4, and they have 0 modifiers to deception or persuasion, and dislike has a DR of 5, and it has persuasion, would be -2, and deception is +1. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So Ian always goes first, but everybody else should roll a status roll.
This is out of character, but
Sure.
The Malisters are a player family, aren't they?
It is the last. It was the first game we did in the Shattered Kingdoms.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it with Walter Peck here, because
Yeah, I have some. I played 2. One very important, the other hilarious.
Did
It is
Did we already know the fate of House Malister?
No.
The whole fate
No.
of...
No.
Ah, okay. Well then, this is something that we can add to that. This is interesting.
Yep. That's why I could come up with this one so quickly. Anyway, okay, so the order will be in Ebers, Heraldus, and then Claire. So make sure you have your intrigue up. You're going to be using the different techniques there. There's techniques you can do even if you're not great at persuasion. I may give you bonuses based on your role play. So Ian, go ahead. Okay, first of all, you guys tell me what you're trying to achieve. Come to pretty much a consensus of what you're trying to get from this guy.
So I think we should try to play both sides of the fences, right? I think we should try to get as much information about this particular subject with this guy, and then we should, when we get the chance to meet up with this traitor and see if we can lead them astray or find out more information, or we could come up with a just do this job. I mean, it's whatever. I don't really know.
If we're, for example, Heraldus will be using deception, and he'll be trying to bargain. So he'll be using bargain. His specialty in this case would be deception bluff, because he's basically trying to get the best deal for the 3 of them. And the reason he's using deception as opposed to persuasion is because he's not really has a strong feeling one way or the other. Perhaps this other side can offer something better.
Yeah, you're not definitely going to go through with it.
Yeah. So I guess that's why I would be using deception to bargain him to the best position to see what we can get from them, followed by, on the road to this hamlet, speaking with Ian about the history of the Riverlands, and then finding our guy and seeing what he offers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I think it should go. It's like Ian would be definitely conniving enough, and I'll go through with talking to Evers about how about that style, and just it'll probably be I'm talking this guy up with persuasion and either one of my various skills that I have.
Well, you're all going to have to use deception if this is the road you're going, just so you know.
Okay, well then that's fine too. I think I'm just gonna let me think about it for a sec.
Unless you say something that's completely true. If it has any sort of lie or potential lie, you got to use deception. What do you think, Claire?
Yeah, well, Claire's good with deceptive argument.
Yeah, I'm down with the deception, like bluffing our way into saying that, oh, we'll do this for you with no expansion, and then try to milk out whatever we can from it. And
yeah, you can bargain at the same time, right? And get a good deal for yourself. But all right, okay, go ahead, Ian.
So I'm just going to go ahead and start this out by saying, well, it has been some time that I have spoken or had the pleasure of being in the presence of King Walder. I would very much like to entertain the thought that there might be some fruitful beneficial relationship. I have recently, as I had spoken, come under some rather upsetting terms with my former liege lord, if you want to call her that. She rules her land with a iron grip. Her people are destitute, and her lands are ripe for the taking. I would surely love to share this information with King Walder, if you ever could pass that word along, my dear sir.
All right, that's a bargain to me, so let's see what you got. So, deception bluff. Or actually, what technique are you using? Influence, I'm assuming? That sounds like influence to me.
Yeah. I'm fine with either way you rule it. That's how I spoke.
That's your action. So if you're trying to damage his composure, it's influence. The other things are secondary to that action. That's like attack and a combat, right? So
yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm using the it'll be deception bluff, or
yep, deception bluff, correct. Unless you actually have...
I actually have bargain.
Bargain is a persuasion. Bluff is the lie part. So 16. All right, and that's what. So you were using the. So what is your
Cunning is the damage.
Is it cunning? Yeah, what is your cunning?
4.
4, so... Okay, so 1 second. Alright, so he considers for a moment and nods his head, and he's like, that sounds all well and good. He's like, but what I need you to do now is go to Bear's Crossing and lure out this person so we can take him. And then after that, we can talk about more grander things. That is a conversation for you and the king or his hand. Alright, so he is trying to persuade you back. And he is going to roll... all right.
Out of character, in the intrigue section of the book, I really, really like the idea of you can end an intrigue at any time by attacking them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just walking away because you're a prude.
Yeah. All right, 18. What is your intrigue defense?
12.
12. 2 degrees of success. So, bear with me. Where is he? I just closed it. Why did I do that?
All these people have super high...
so, great. What is your... your disposition force, you take 2 composure damage.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Araldus?
Araldus, being a man of the world, has seen many things. And the one thing he likes to see most of all is the inner content of one's character. So for that, instead of influencing, he's going to attempt to read the target and see what he really, his thoughts on us and what he's trying to gain out of it. Basically gain a knowledge of his disposition and technique. So with that said, Araldus kind of standing there looking at Ian and Sir Weatherthird go back and forth and pipes up and goes, I'm curious as to why you would want 3 strangers to do this for you. If you know where he's at, why haven't you gone yourself to this Bear's Crossing? It seems that there might be something that you're keeping us in the dark over, and we can't have that kind of thing if we're to be successful for you.
All right, roll it versus his passive deception.
All right, with Water Dancer 1, I get to add my fighter ranks.
Are you serious?
Awareness check.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
crazy. That's so
Okay.
cool.
Doesn't
All
mean
right.
I'm going to beat his passive deception, but
Well, I didn't roll deception last time. If you saw that, I rolled just normally. But anyway.
we'll see if this works.
Okay, so you gain plus 1d on all your deception and persuasion for the rest of the intrigue.
All right.
Okay, so just Claire.
Well, Claire,
What is his current disposition and technique, by the way?
Does it say that?
Yes, it says I learn his
Disposition.
current disposition.
Yeah, disposition is indifferent, and his technique was a persuasion, convince.
Thank you.
Okay, Claire.
and Claire just tries to assist Ian.
Okay.
To sort of perpetuate the bluff. Certainly you wish to speak to my father of such important matters.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your persuasion versus 9, a 9.
It's not a
Oh.
bluff.
Well, not in this. You can. It says
Target number 9.
Yeah,
Well,
It-
then
you can do either.
Convincing?
Yeah, well, it says you can do either
Well, I'll
because
do
it says persuasion. It says persuasion, but I think it's fine for either. Doesn't matter.
You're assisting in the deception.
So you get to add half your persuade, or we'll just do deception. Add half your deception to his next roll.
Okay, so that's a 2.
Okay, so you get a +2 on your next roll, Ian. So Ebers basically looks you up and down and is somewhat distracted by your. You get to re-roll ones, you know. You have attractive. Oh, that was.
That's on persuasion.
Yep. Okay. Never mind. So, but he gives you the eye, and he looks back to Ian.
Alright, so I think looking over the actions, if I were to use so say if I wanted to use persuasion bargain and now like try to hammer home the fact that we should be compensated with information prior to and afterwards, and we should be like basically you're gonna have to, if you want us to do this without question that's out of the question really, I want to use bargain to get more out of this situation than whatever.
If you use bargain, you have to do your side of the bargain.
Okay. Well, then I'll keep using deception for now. So say that we do this, Sir Weathers. Say that we go and speak to this man. Why is it that you won't go do it yourself? If you know exactly where he is, what's to say that your man can't, as Alraldus just had spoken?
Okay, go ahead and roll it. And give yourself a +2.
That's 13. 4. Yeah, 13.
13. So
Wow, I'm getting really cool.
So he just like shakes his head and he's like, "There's military strategy involved, and I can't give that to the likes of you." And he turns and he's like, "Look, you're obviously injured. You're stranded wherever you're gonna go. I'm happy to help you, but I need something from you. This is the toll of this road today. We are the toll takers. This is Freyland. You can head back to the north, or you can do what we need you to do. The choice is up to you." And so he's going to roll again. This is going to do a straight influence once again. And since there is no need to not roll it this way now. What is your intrigue defense?
12.
1 degree of success. What is your... It was 4, right? So nothing gets through. Araldus with his plus 1d.
As they go back and forth, Araldus continues to try and negotiate the best deal for the group. And he looks at Sir Ebers and he goes, "My good sir, as you know, injuries in the battlefield can be fatal if not attended to. And speed is often as important to victory as sound strategy. The first one to the hill gets the archers on top. With that said, I think I know Sir King Walder is a very rich man, and I think you'd be able to part with a few more things, perhaps some faster horses for us to go to this Bear's Crossing and return, as well as maybe a little compensation beforehand to grease any palms that need greasing. And lastly, before leaving, I'd like your barber or apothecary to tend to Sir Ian's leg injury."
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Nice.
That was Deception Bluff.
Yep. So that would be that's 3 degrees. What's your
Damage is 3, cunning is 3.
so 9. So he's indifferent, right? Like I told you.
So DR of 4.
Yep. So 5 more.
Yep.
He takes a frustration.
Nice.
So
Frustration is the equivalent of a wound, for those that don't know.
Yeah. So Ebers like strokes his beard and he's like, "Yeah, I think that might be reasonable." And he's just kind of thinking as Claire decides what she's going to do.
I think we'll go with the same approach as last time.
Okay.
Just keep assisting Dad.
Okay, just roll against a 9.
Right.
You miss it. No, you got it. It's plus 2 to Dad's roll.
Let's see. And when I do speak to King Walder, in all his grace and good, it would look highly good upon yourself, and one might be rewarded if you were to aid us now, if we were to aid you. Would it not? Would King Walder look highly upon a subject that helped out one such as myself and someone in their need, and help attain some knowledge that was duly needed by himself? On 2 accounts, I hear. This man has something that you need, and I have something that King Walder needs.
Okay. Roll it with a plus 2. Deception Bluff.
13 again.
So he doesn't seem to like be swayed by your comments, and he's like, "Yes, King Walder definitely he definitely needs this done, but I'm not sure this might be beneath him. Alright, so he looks at the girl, and he's like, well, hold on, let me think what I want to do. He looks at Araldus and says, you look like a man of action. I assume you know how to use those things. You could be put to the test quite soon. These men are vicious killers. I don't know if they'll agree to come back with you, and if they don't, you should kill them where they stand. But I can tell you'll be happily compensated when you do. This is for the best of you and us. There is minimal risk if you can actually convince them to come back. We'll have superior numbers, and they will be ours. Okay, so he's rolling against Araldus this time. I'm just gonna. I wonder if I take a. No, it won't work correctly. So. What's your...
My intrigue defense is 8, so it'd be 1 degree of success.
Nothing.
Araldus kind of sits and listens to the man talk and nods his head slowly up and down, and his words don't particularly sway him, but Araldus feels he is slowly convincing Sir Evers of their position in the matter, and goes to the knight. He goes, we sit here and talk about King Walder and speaking with him, but we all know for the most part the likes of us three will never speak with King Walder. The person that will be speaking with King Walder or receiving his praises will be the knight that captures this potential traitor. And we all know that the person that will be taking a knee in front of his lord and accepting the accolades will be Sir Evers. And the quicker we're on our way with a tended to lord and the necessary tools to do the job, the quicker you can be receiving perhaps some land and become a landed knight.
Okay. Plus 1d for your read target.
Oh, wow.
Reroll here. So that would be 9. That's 2 degrees of success. What's the damage on that?
3, so 6 damage.
So he takes 2. Let's see, So he shrugs and he's like, perhaps. He's like, but that doesn't give me any real hold on. Sorry. He looks at you and he rubs his chin again. He's like, you have some truth to what you said, but I need to make sure that you're going to do this before I gain any accolades, and you have to do it well. I'm willing to part with what I've said. We don't have that many provisions out here. This is just a stop along the road. One of the most northern spots of defense in our realm. Okay, so it's, I believe it's Claire's turn.
All right, well, I think we'll just continue on. Can't believe you're going to send my father injured to talk to these horrible men. You say they're killers.
Everybody's rolling higher than That's beautiful.
Claire's actually got a decent bluff.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm a character built around it, and then I'm just like crapping it. Although I did have amazing rolls last session.
You got it easy. Okay. Claire should be just bluffing them straight.
It's those pretty cheeks and those,
Yeah.
beautiful eyes.
Okay, so +2 to Ian's next roll.
As my daughter said, I did receive quite the wound. Making our way through the neck, our ship was accosted, and it would look terrible upon your station and none of your men to have had. And you would not want to have that honor stained upon King Walder, would you? A lord treated as such. Why, I think you would be discontent by the way that your men would not treat me.
All right. I can't help laughing at Claire's wardrobe. Man, I can't look at that anymore because it just makes me laugh every time I see it. Okay.
Oh my god. 14.
14. He's like, my lord, I can't help. I'm sorry to say, but I've never heard of you before. You could just be a wealthy merchant for all I know. And he just like shrugs. And he's like, so. He looks back to the man with the sword, seeming that he thinks that actually you might be the one to talk to. And he says, look, my friend, I'm willing to part with 3 horses. Do you know how long that would actually take you to just walk down the Kingsroad to wherever you're going? Plus, quite simply, I do not have to let you south at all, and you could have to walk back through the neck if that's where you actually came from. And he looks at like your gunk on your clothes and he shrugs and he's like, I suppose you did somehow cross the neck. He's like, we can do well together, you and I. He seems to be like liking the man of action type of thing. So, all right. 15.
That'd be 2 degrees.
So you take 2 composure.
Down to 7 composure.
All right.
Oraldus kind of sees some wisdom in what he says. If there's one place he doesn't want to be again is the neck, and the swamp, and the bugs, and lizard lions, and everything in between, and the Kranich men most of all. And he looks at Sir Everest and goes, that's very true. You could turn us back, but that would not alleviate your problem of retrieving this individual at Bear's Crossing, and we do want to help you with that. But I would like to think 4 horses, 3 for the 3 of us, and 1 for our captive, would be the most beneficial thing right now.
What do you mean 1 for your captive? I don't. You mean you just want an extra horse?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. So, he like shrugs and he's like, horses are expensive. And if I give you an extra horse, that's one I'm going to have to take away from my men. So he doesn't seem to agree with that line of thinking. Claire?
Oh, was I just skipped over? Question.
What's that?
Because we did.
No, you rolled crap.
Yeah. Always like crap. Yeah. No, I was like, what?
Yeah, Mike's rolling by hand because he has an extra dice he's keeping and rolling, so that's why it looks different from your and Claire's.
Well, obviously.
Okay, so Claire feigns shock at when he says, "Turn us back north." What? You brute! You would do such a thing? You would turn a nobleman and his daughter away? I'm shocked. Well, we'll have to tell everyone of the generosity of King Walter.
Okay.
Ow.
So 15. That's 2 degrees of success, which you're using bluff, right?
Yep.
So it's cunning. What's your cunning rank?
4.
Oh, shit. So he's like, he puts up his hands. He's like, I'm sorry, my lady. He's like, I didn't mean to upset you. We can talk. I would not want to have my name talked ill about and ill repute to the way I treat a noble lady such as yourself. And he kind of bows to you, and he's like, I think we can agree on some more concessions for you. What is it you want? So that basically beat him. So within reason, you can ask for what you want. Another horse would be fine. Having him tended to by someone would be fine.
4 horses, some medical care, and some, not a lot, obviously, but a little bit of money to grease some wheels if need be.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. It's what we set out for anyway.
So he agrees to all those conditions. He has Ian go to the back, and you're examined by, it looks like, the medic essentially of them, and he's going to see. I gotta flip pages here. What is the If anybody can tell me where the healing is on here?
It's in the combat section.
I know.
Right before warfare. It's you either take the healing check.
Yep.
Or
you're going to take an endurance check,
but
which
he
you
has
can't
to
do.
take the injury penalty. And if memory serves, he has 2 endurance, so that's not great.
Here it is. Okay.
Injuries, yeah, moderate.
So he's been moderate, so he's going to roll against a 9 to see if he can help you. No, he does not. He looks like somebody who's infecting Ian by touching the wound, basically. So he looks at it and he's like, "Oh, it's putrid," and he's like, "Bring me the wine." And they put some wine on a fire, and he brings it with, he takes a cup of it. He's like, "This is gonna hurt, my lord," and before you can react, he just dumps boiling wine on the back of your leg, and it just you have extremely horrible pain for the next 10 to 15 minutes, but then you look down at your leg and it looks swollen and red, but if there was infection, it is gone. So you can take your injury away now.
And gain a loss of pride.
All right, so Ebers comes back after he's like, "We're going to stay here tonight, and in the morning we'll go." And so he shows you to where you'll be sleeping. They're just tent rolls, essentially, bed rolls. And he looks at Claire and he bows and he's like, "My lady." And he reaches for your hand and he's like, "I wonder after all this is done, we might converse further."
Claire turns away demurely and says, "Sir, you would have to speak to my father of such things."
And Sir Eber's like, "As you wish. I believe, I believe that is true and wise." And he walks away and does not come back again in the middle of the night to make you activate your rape whistle. So you guys are just gonna sleep, and you've been fed and all that stuff. So you're still in the middle of their camp, obviously. Not trying anything sneaky or anything.
So, and Ian, just to kind of RP for a sec, Ian, what do you know? You would be the man to ask of King Frey and the Riverlands. What's going on here? What are we walking into?
Well, I wouldn't trust the Freys as far as the mountain could throw them to start with. But his men, I do not doubt. His men follow him because they have to. His men follow him because loyalty begs them to. And, Ian kind of has taken out like his small blade and is trimming his, beard and cleaning it a little bit with some water as sitting near like a fire that's near like where their quarters have been. And in a hushed manner to not speak openly about this. He says, some years back after I had married my wife, we had received word of the Red Wedding. It's not something known quite well these days, but a phrase would be as quick to stab you in the back as put food in your belly. There must not be... There has to be something more to this, but we couldn't fish it out of him.
Now, Araldus did know that... Araldus had a good sense that he wasn't lying, though, because he did read target and sensed his technique.
As I said, now, the man is probably truthful to us. I couldn't tell. But for all intents and purposes, well, a knight is going to follow his lord almost without question if it's to be ascertained that he is a good knight.
I mean, I don't know much about the Riverlands, but it sounds like a soldier trying to please his liege with minimal risk to himself and maximum reward.
Yes, as any man would do. Now, what was your question about the lands?
Just about the current skirmishing war, call it what you will, going on between what seems to be the Malisters and the Freys.
From my roll earlier with the Malisters, like...
Would you roll 12?
No, I rolled like a... let me scroll back up. It was quite high, as I recall.
I thought it was a 12, but...
No.
It was a status
yeah,
breeding, right? Okay.
Yeah, it is status breeding, or reputation, actually. It's a 17.
Yeah, what do you... Ask me what you want to know, and I'll see if I can answer you.
Is House Malister, like, reputable? Or are they, like, a good standing house? Or are they, like...
From what you know...
Can you tell me about, like, character?
Yeah, from what you know, that they've suffered some pretty bad losses in the wars, as many houses has, and you have a second or third son that's the lord of House Malister now. You believe his name is Dalinar, as you recall. You don't really know much about him. You think that he has heirs. There haven't been any major battles lately. The last battle you remember about the Riverlands was between the Riverlands and the Frey is the siege of the Twins, which did not go also well for the attacking forces. But everything else is kind of, you don't know all that much about them specifically. It's been kind of beyond your thoughts, right? I mean, you've been really more worried about the Stormlands and the Crownlands than the Riverlands.
Well, I can't tell you exactly about the situation, as per I wasn't there and haven't been for some many years, but I have tried to keep up with the situations around the kingdoms, if you would call them that.
And you certainly know that they're still at war. That's for sure.
Yeah. As he would have spoken, yes, they are still in times of war, but as to the validity and to whom is in the right, I wouldn't know what to say. They've been fighting for a long time, for all this.
He nods as he listens to Sir Ian's retelling, or is it Lord or Sir, by the way?
He's Lord.
Lord. Listens to Lord Ian's retelling, just kind of trying to get a sense of what they might be walking into, and nods and goes, well, we'll see what we see tomorrow.
All right, that we will.
Okay. Anything else before head to sleep?
Nah.
Araldus, Claire?
I think I'm good.
Heraldus just kind of cleans his weapons, cleans himself as best as he can.
Yeah, he gives you like a water basin at least to clean up.
Yeah, and is kind of happy to be getting some horses here in a little bit. And he kind of anxious, but still manages to fall asleep after 2 days of hard travel through the neck and the Kingsroad, and ready to wake up the next day and face what they have to face.
All right. So you wake up to the sound of men walking around, and you can tell some of them are mobilizing. Sir Ebers greets you after you break your fast, and it's good. You actually eat some decent food for once. What you had the day before was okay, but this is like you have some meat. Looks like some fried pork of some sort from a boar, and so you're actually fed quite well and treated well. You have some ale, and Eber's like, it's a 3 or 4 hour ride, and then they bring 3 coursers for you, and and there's no jerky. That's no jerky here, but they bring you 3 coursers. And he's like, these will be your horses, and we'll give you the other one once we're finished. And so he has a few men with him, and he rides with you down the Kingsroad for quite a while. And then eventually you pass several smaller outposts, and he eventually veers off the road onto a smaller trail, which takes you deeper into the woods and away from the road, and he eventually stops, and it's been 3 or 4 hours like he said, and he's like, he points down this down this trail, and he's like, down there a mile is Bear's Crossing. He's like, there's been fighting in this area, so don't if you see the dead, don't be alarmed. You are safe to pass. He's like, in there, find out who it is. It doesn't matter, whoever the person that's seems like in charge of the region. Bring them here, however you have to do it. And then we'll fall upon them, we'll capture them, and everyone should be fine. And then you can go about your way.
Heraldus looks and very well, Sir Ebers. We will meet back here later with the Malister contingent in tow.
And he nods and he says, if they won't come, kill them.
Understood.
Okay, anything else for him?
No.
All right.
Claire rolls her eyes and mouths, what could possibly go wrong?
All right, so you head down this trail, and you see this small hamlet in the distance. And you come down the trail, and you see maybe a half dozen buildings and some farms, and you do kind of realize that there's a lot of seemingly probably activity. So Bear's Crossing seems like another small place. You count 5 or 6 houses, 2 barns and a mill. The ground is wet and heavily disturbed as a large group of men has been through the area lately. Birds seem to sing over the grunts of men outside working hard. Those men seem to be preparing for a fight as far as you can tell. Men use what appear to be blunted swords, practicing against one another, while some shoot hunting bows against straw targets. There's a man, if you can be called that, he looks very young, walking about in full armor and giving instructions. He appears to be training the small folk for a fight. And you are, as you come towards, are you just going to come straight into the town, or?
Yeah. Sit atop my newly acquired horse.
Okay. So you trot down into town on your 3 coursers and immediately gather some attention as this young boy, looks like in his teens, probably in brigandine armor, actually, but he's a fairly sizable person, but you can tell he has the youth on his face, and he walks over, and he's got sweat on his brow from being out, and he's like, "Can we help you?"
Aye, that you can.
He's like, "With what?"
This is the town of Bear's Crossing, is it not? Well, Hamlet, I should say.
Yeah, it's fine. Yes. What do you need? These are simple people. He's like, "From your horses, it looks like you are not."
Well, we're all simple folk in the eyes of the gods, are we not?
They say we are all the same, but that's not what lords would say.
Well, I think I'm going to use persuasion or deception. Is it deception? Actually, let me look. I'm not
What are you trying to do?
I want to play myself off as a not like a priest, but just
If you're lying,
like a merchant or something.
yeah, then deception. If you're lying at all, it's a deception.
I am just a man with some coin to spend on provisions. A merchant looking to make some bucks or make some stags. Hoping to buy some grain or goods that you might have on hand.
He shrugs and he's like, "There is a man who runs a general store. I don't know what he has. I can go talk to him and have him meet you at the store." And he just kind of points to a building behind him.
Oh, yes, very well.
Auraldus kind of pipes up and says, "Tell me, good sir, what is all the commotion in this area? It seems you're training small folk. Is there some sort of danger we need to be aware of?"
He laughs and he's like, "You must have come." And he's like, "From the south, I suppose." He's like, "They're the Freys. We've been fighting them. There was a battle not a mile from here a week ago."
We did see the bodies on the way in. Unfortunate business.
He's like, "Yeah, they leave their bodies while we bring ours back to bury or burn."
It is a dishonorable thing to leave your dead.
He's like, "I
Why
agree."
are they doing this?
He's like, "Doing what?"
Attacking. Clearly, this is Malister lands, is it not? And they attacked on your liege lord's lands.
He's like, "We're at war. They're trying to spread our forces out by attacking the hamlets and have us respond." He's like, he shrugs and he's like, "What's it matter? What do you care? Just go to the general store. I'm busy."
Not so fast, my son.
He looks at you and he's like, "My father is Jarl Vantry. You are not my father. Please do not call me that again."
Well, out of character, who is his father?
He said Jarl Vantry.
Jarl Vantry. Is that the...
You would have known. You don't. Unless you... I mean, you can roll knowledge of breeding, but unless you roll, like, an 18... Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be. But that was just a term.
He's
I
like...
may,
okay.
and I say we, but I may know of some information you would highly like to get a hold of. Or should speak to the man in charge of this town. Or this training of small folk.
He shrugs and he's like, "There is a mayor. He is not here right now. But I'm training these men as best I can."
For what reason?
To defend themselves when the raiders come.
So I don't know how this is out of character, but
Sure.
I don't know how you guys want to do it. But I don't know if we should side with the Tullys. I mean, can we get the map on?
If you want to look at the big map, I don't think I have that one on here, but
The map that shows map of Eastern Westeros, it's kind of tough to tell, but if you look there and you see the dark blue, the twins,
Yeah.
the border of it, the western border is the Green Fork, the only crossing of the Green Fork being the twins. And if you want to wade your way through the southern portion of the neck, they control basically everything that used to be the Riverlands east of the Green Fork, south of the neck, and west of the Mountains of the Moon. And their territory ends right around the Ruby Ford and
you're pretty
the
far
Inlet
north.
Crossroads.
You're pretty far north in their territory if you want to, or you can go here. Hold on.
So I was thinking, are we north or are we near the Riverlands?
We're super north. We're in the Riverlands, but we're like in the northern portion.
Oh, well, I know we're in the Riverlands, but I'm saying like because if it's Mallister lands that we had discussed before, then why are they attacking so far north?
For the reason Lewin said, they're basically this is the spring after a particularly harsh winter, and manpower and supplies are in short supply.
That's not
If you look at this, hold on. If you look at this map, and you look where Hag's Mire is, you're very close to that. You're actually south of the Twins a little bit, but the Twins is quite.
Okay, so that's where I was getting confused. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
yeah.
came in from the very north, and we took
Yep.
a right. Okay.
Yep.
All right, that makes it so much better. Because in my head, we were like up by the north, and I was like, "What?"
No. You came in through the Bight. If you look at that, where the Bight is, and you came in southeast of Greywater Watch, like pretty much the furthest inland part south there. That's where Waterton was, and then you came over to the road and came south for 2 days.
So you work with the Mallisters, no? You're here training the small folk.
He's like,
You know how to get in contact with your leaders.
He's like, of course. He's like, I'm Squire to Colin North, Lord of North Tower.
Aye, boy, I know who Colin North is.
He blinks and he's like, oh, you do?
That I do. I rolled a knowledge check and found out who he was earlier. So
Oh, okay.
I assume I know a little bit about him. Is there any way you could get a message to him as soon as possible?
He like shrugs and he's like, I'm 2 days away from the North Tower. We don't have ravens here. And he just kind of chuckles because no place does really. He's like, what do you want to contact? What's the information? You tell me and then I can see what we need to do.
I don't want to fully intrigue this guy, but I want to basically play it off as like there's something that I can't really tell you because it's not in your station to know. And I kind of want the input of the other players at this point because I'm either going to backstab the phrase, which I don't mind doing at all, and helping the Mallisters because Mallisters and the Riverlands.
Me personally, from a neutral perspective, as a Rawless, I would pull this guy to the side and bargain him and offer him information.
That seems like a good idea to me.
What do you want from him though?
Fair passage within the lands of if we help him deal with this situation and help him get the upper hand in this situation, we can get safe passage through the Riverlands. Because I mean, by this point, we already have shit tons of we don't need to go back north. We can keep going south, and that's the way we're going anyway. Why not stab the phrase in the back, take their money, their horses, and then get even more? Like, come on. So yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to say, hey, I mean, let's do that then. Let's all just kind of.
Okay, so you would be intriguing him for passage, and he looks at you and he asks, he's trying to get the information out of you, right? So we'll do another intrigue. What is your disposition to him?
I'm gonna say I'm amiable.
All right.
Indifferent.
Claire could probably go indifferent to this one. He's younger.
Yeah, he's younger than you are, probably.
So before we start this, is our goal to negotiate safe passage through the Riverlands in exchange for letting him know of a potential Frey trap?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that, like, I don't necessarily like the phrase. That's why I picked amiable, and I believe we should. That's what we're going for. Is like we can negotiate on latter terms for helping you with this and discussing the trap for more safe passage to the Riverlands, like unmolested safe passage, and maybe some type of a reward as well.
Okay.
Does that seem fine for you guys?
Yeah. Fine with me.
Because, I mean, after that, there's only, like, just a little bit more that we have to go. Like, we could either go through the Westerlands or walk through the Crownlands, really.
Well, you're not even considering one option, honestly. If you look at where Seaguard is, which is the seat of House Mallister, look where it is on that map.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boats.
Okay, so let's roll for initiative for everyone who's not Ian. So, status rolls, please.
Our composure resets, correct?
Yes.
Status.
Damn.
Nice.
All right. Same order as last time, I think. Or no, it's flopped. Ian, Araldus, Lewin, Claire. Start us off, Lord Ian.
What was this guy's name again?
Lewin.
Lewin. Well, Lewin. You are, You said you were a squire, no?
He nods.
That's a great thing that you're doing. It's nice to know that such upstanding men as yourself are taking the fight to these dastardly Freys. If I was alive back and I was once married to a northerner, I understand the plight that you Tullys faced. And it may be that I have some information for your lords, the Mallisters, pertaining to these Freys. They propositioned us on the way, said that they would like to have you in their custody. I would like to disclose this information with someone higher and with yourself as well.
You just disclosed it.
No, I'm talking about passing up the chain of command. Like,
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll.
we know the location where they stay and how
Okay.
they are.
He's like, oh, really?
That we do.
All right, go ahead and I assume you're rolling persuasion, right?
Yeah, persuasion. I'm not trying
Okay,
to...
so you get a +1 to your roll for being amiable.
We're gonna do... $16.
All right. So that's 2 degrees of success. Persuasion is... Or, I'm sorry. That was... what specialty did you use? What technique?
Charm.
Use charm. So... Persuasion rank is what? 4?
Yeah, 4.
So 8. So, okay. So he nods and He's like, that would be helpful information. Araldus?
Arald is still thinking to himself that there's the potential for a turncloak in their midst. Once again considers it's best to look past Lewin's words and into his inner thoughts and see to determine what kind of person they're dealing with, his thoughts or feelings towards us. So basically a read target again.
Mm-hmm. Its first is his passive deception, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that's success. He hasn't used a technique yet, but he's he's indifferent. But the
right.
technique he is going to use is it the last technique, or how does it read? The technique he uses for this exchange. So he's using the technique. Hold on 1 second, sorry. He is using persuasion charm, so he's using charm.
Okay.
He smiles and he's like, I could perhaps take you to my lord, but time is of the essence. I promise, on my honor and on my father's honor of Splinterhold, that I will be true to my word. This is towards the end, right? So, intrigue defense?
Intrigue defense is 3.
No.
12.
Yeah, 12.
I thought you meant
1 degree, so nothing. Well, actually 1. You take 1 composure since you're amiable.
You make a point. It's definitely a nice thing to hear such words.
All right, Claire.
Claire is just going to try and convince. Lewin, certainly you need to take a moment and talk to my father before you rush into a hasty action.
At this point, you should be patting up Araldus.
14. And you use convince, so that is... What's your will rank?
Will is 3.
So he takes 2 more. Ian, you're up again.
Well, the men that had spoken to us, they wait not long from here, but if we do make any actions, it's going to be very costly for you and the people of this village. Do you know of anyone who might dissent to those standing against the Freys in this place in Bear's Crossing? Anyone at all?
He laughs. He's like, no. These people are all small folk and have lost family members to the Freys. So you
That's
can...
a good thing to hear. They had spoken about a traitor amongst them, or amongst yourselves. But if that's not the case, well then, the best thing you can do for these people is to, not give yourself over to them.
So what are you trying to... Are you trying to convince him to take you to his lord now, or...
No, I think, because
eventually.
that's out of the question, he's way too far.
He's way too far, and there's no way he's going to leave these people
Yeah, no, that'd be silly.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean,
I think I want to take him back with us, but maybe have like some of the peasantry alongside him. I don't know.
back to
How many men does the Weathers guy have, or Sir Weathers?
Oh, he brought like 4 or 5 dudes with him.
Oh, well, we could like, with like 15 peasants, we could like just knock him out, like, or rip him off his horses. Really, like.
Maybe. You have to try to convince him of that, or talk to. I guess I'm a little hazy on what you're trying to convince him to do.
How many men do you think you could take with you? Well, the stealthiest and the quietest. Do you have any fighting men that are showing promise?
He's like, there's a couple that won't get killed, maybe, or if they get killed, they'll die well.
Well.
He's like, these men are not trained. We've been at this a week. And he points to two men fencing.
We don't need trained men to take out only a handful, now do we? I'm sure you've seen your fair share of spouts. The mob rule counts for something. Can you persuade these men to come with us?
He's like, yes, but I will only take the ones that I know have a chance to survive, and if they agree to it.
Well, if it's to protect you and to stay in the Riverlands, then why not? Why not? Why would they not? And I'm going to use a persuasion.
Yeah.
I'm going to do... I don't really have anything other than that.
That sounds like a convince to me.
Yeah, fine.
So it's what is your?
Did Claire give me 2?
No, she actually convinced him.
Well.
So what's your will rank?
Will is going to be 3.
All right, so he takes. It's not good enough to convince him. He's like, these men are simple men. I won't have them dying for naught. Araldus?
Morales has been kind of listening to Ian and Lewin go back and forth, and Araldus chimes in and he goes, I'm not a lord or a knight. I'm a simple swordsman, and as someone who is essentially small folk, I don't really believe in throwing their lives away. But like Lord Ian said here, we would much prefer to see you come out better than the phrase in the situation. That would require duplicity on our part, and if you are up for that, we would take whoever you deem fit to go and turn the tables on them. This is a persuasion convince, because I'm not lying to him. I'm not looking not to forget it, so I get the +1.
And then you get... well, you don't get a +1 because you're indifferent, right? Indifferent is 0 across the board.
I'm sorry, +1d to...
I read
target successfully, and then so I'll just be rolling 3d6 because I only have 2 in persuasion.
Yep. One. What's the use the convince, so what's your will?
Will is 3.
No. He's like, give me their location and I'll scout out where they are myself. And then if need be, you can help me get rid of them.
Raldus kind of looks to Ian and Claire and goes, honestly, I would be okay with that. My guess would be this young Lewin knows the area better than the 3 of us combined.
Yeah, you don't have to do an intrigue if you think can agree without forcing each other to. He's basically offering potential safe passage if your information holds out to be true and your help, essentially. For your help.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm not going to settle for second best. What is this? I got to take what I can get.
Okay.
The tree's not over.
So he's that's against Ian.
Ooh.
So 12, so that's 2. So 8. What's your so you're -3, so you take 5 composure damage.
That's fine.
Alright, Claire.
Assist or try and convince. I think Claire will try and convince.
Okay. Holy crap. Alright, so what does she say? That's a good roll. What does she say?
Well, she plays up the validity of his information. We just came from where those horrible men were, and they were talking about you being killers. And obviously, that's all fake.
He shrugs and he's like, I can be a killer to some, but he, so that's, what's, so convince, what's your will, 3?
Yeah.
9, so he nods and he's like, fine. I'll make sure you get to either the North Tower or Seaguard after we're done with this, and I'll see which one of these men will come with me and try to convince the ones I think that are decent men and won't die easily to come with us. He's like, I hope you'll help me. And he shrugs. He's like, just show me the way.
I have no love for the phrase. I would much rather deal with the Tullys any day.
By the way, the Tullys don't exist anymore in this timeline.
They were spoken of earlier.
There are Tullys. Well, there's one Tully, right? One. There's one left.
A Tully, not in the Riverlands.
Yeah. So
who actually leads that region?
Yeah, it's Baelish.
Oh, it's Baelish. Okay.
It is Peter Baelish's son.
Isn't it Robert?
I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Robert Baelish?
That sounds right.
I don't know. I can't remember. I'd have to look.
It's
Hoster, I think. No?
His name is Hoster, correct. It's Hoster.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's Robert Baratheon II as the Reach. But yep, so he's agreeing to go with you and take a few of the small folk with him. So what are you going to do?
The intrigue's not over, right?
Yeah, it's over. He's defeated.
Okay, well, we've gotten everything out of it. I imagine we're going to go with him. Like, why would we not?
Because you're old and weak and Claire's a woman.
Well, yeah, but...
That's what you're here for, right?
That's right. No, Araldus will volunteer to go and offer to scout as well, or be the vanguard, simply because he's good at being quiet. He has no love for the phrase, nor real love for the Malisters. However, he does want to continue on his journey. He believes going to Seaguard or Castle North, and then going via boat or land routes further south is what matters.
Okay. So, you're leading them back to the clearing or whatever?
We'll lead him. We'll tell him where it is. This is my opinion. Tell him where it is and see if he knows an alternate route to avoid their eyes and potentially get a sneak attack on them.
So Lewin doesn't specifically himself, but he asks around the small folk, and there's one of the men that's coming with him, a hunter, looks like, from what you can tell. He's got a bow. He does, and he's like, yeah, if you just head back up the trail, you'll walk straight to where they can see you, but I have another way we can go, but you'll have to leave your horses here. He's like, they'll be well taken care of until we've taken care of these fray dogs.
The 7 giveth, the 7 taketh away.
Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping you guys coming back and recollecting your horses if you're victorious.
Or we don't get triple crossed. Yeah, let's do it. I'm game.
What do you think, Ian? And Claire?
I mean, I'd rather stab the Freys in the back than mess with the Riverlands. All knows we don't need to mess around with getting the Baelishes mad at us. Like,
by assisting the Malisters and therefore the Riverlands, we maintain the status quo, in my out-of-combat opinion.
Well, I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, freaking... We've already traveled or traversed the majority of the twins. Why not get on the good side of the people we're going into their territory? I mean, come on, like...
Well, and Claire likes Lewin better than that other guy.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely a foundation.
That other guy's sweet on you, though. That could be a match.
Great pie.
Don't worry. Claire has bigger fish to fry, obviously, because, gotta get her married to a high noble.
Now, she's the one that's putting the nail on the coffin with all the intrigue, so... Alright, so you're heading around the stealthy route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So... what you see are men kind of lounging about, not quite ready for whatever is to happen. You guys are going to come in. Bear with me 1 second. Holy moly. Whoops. Doppelganger.
Overall, this blended in as Claire to throw off Sir Everett.
Faceless Man.
Knew one of you were one of them.
The irony is it's Ian.
Obviously. I mean, what kind of faceless man would I be if I didn't know I was a faceless man? Or if I did know if I was a faceless man? I wouldn't be proper faceless man. I mean, you got to get into the proper, tinfoil hat Game of Thrones stuff.
Well, but see, you're obviously not a faceless man because you're not denying the existence of faceless men.
Actually, in all actuality, Sir Pounce is Azor Ahai in the novel, so
Cat.
just waiting for my.
Okay, so let's go ahead. So you walk up and you see their camp. They're basically not prepared for you to come this way. They've been kind of seem to be like ready on the waiting for you to come up the trail. So go ahead and roll initiative, each one of you. That's agility, quickness minus your armor penalty. And just let me know what it is.
Claire's is an 8.
2.
Subtract 2 from my roll.
What was your roll?
Awful. It's 10.
Total of
So
a 10?
now 8.
8. Alright, so the phrase cannot go until they see one of you. The militia look over to Lewin for a sign to act, and he puts his hand up for them to wait, wanting them to come in after the trained fighters. So it's essentially on Araldus.
Raldus looks over to Lewin, gives him a nod, as in, shall we?
He nods and is like, let's see how good your skinny blade is.
It will penetrate quite deep. Let me show you. And he does the old charge to Mr. Archer.
Okay, I'm going to give you like a +3 to your attack since he's clearly not looking at you. And just tell me what you rolled.
Alright, one second. Want to make sure I'm rolling correctly here.
Sure.
Because it's a charge.
You could also move an attack if you wanted from that distance.
And you said +3?
Yep.
That was a charge, by the way.
Okay.
So 18 total.
18 total. That's
Damage 7.
Yep. So you run towards him, and he doesn't even see you by the time you stab him through his back. Okay. Claire?
Okay. What's the range to these guys?
You can shoot him. Yeah.
Alright, Claire will take a pot shot at that guy.
Okay.
Not that she's any good at this. Are they aware of us now?
Yeah, but they haven't had time to act. You're not going to get a plus, but...
Alright. Well then aim and fire.
Okay.
Aim.
What'd you roll?
So a 9.
A 9, that is...
Or sorry, 8.
8. That's 1 degree of success. What's the damage on your crossbow?
1 second.
What type of crossbow are you using?
I think it's light.
Yeah, it was a light crossbow from last session.
Yeah, it is. And damage is 3.
Okay, that's not enough to punch through. Even with Pierce. So your bolt flies and ricochets off his armor, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" All right. So they turn and act. Does someone want to control the militia and Lewin?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll do it.
Okay. So let me give me 2 seconds, and I'll give them. You might want to split them up, so one person doesn't have them all.
I don't mind doing it because Ian's not really going to get in the melee.
Right. I kind of figured that. Okay.
Ooh, how high is your will?
9. Roll 3, but
What are you thinking?
Will coordinate.
Yeah.
I learned that from you.
Yeah.
And to explain what I'm saying right there, if you roll will coordinate, and in combat the target number is 9, give me 1 second here and I'll tell you why that matters.
you can give bonus die to combatants.
It's just a flat plus number, if memory serves. So
I think it's
let's
plus
see
your
here.
will or something. Or your will multiplied by degrees of success, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, basically you take half your will rank, add your will rank times your degrees of success to the result. So basically you have to beat a target number 9, or 12, and if you do, every degree of success adds 4 to my attack rolls, assuming you give it to me.
Okay. Well,
Or whoever you give it to. So real quick, the first soldier moved and whiffed at Heraldus. The second one rolled a 14. What's your defense?
It's 15. I have a left-handed dagger with an 11 combat defense base.
That sounds about right because
Minus-
11 base.
Yeah, minus 2 for my hard leather, plus 2 for my left-hand dagger, bringing it back up to 11, plus 4 for Water Dancer 3, giving it a 15.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Okay, so you parry it. All right. So the archers now. He moves to
Do
where he
the,
gets a shot.
Oh, okay, the small folk have sheets. Okay.
Yep, everybody should have a shoot. This guy's shooting at one of the small folk. 11. What's their defense? Combat
What's that?
defense.
It's like an 8.
It's an 8. So it's 1. Do they have any armor?
I don't think you can put. Oh, they have leather. It's a 2, so he's gonna get hit for.
He gets hit for 1.
Okay. I'll mark that down. Their wounds are 9. Left or right?
I believe left. So it'd be 8 in the left box and a 9 in the right box. Whatever, it doesn't matter, just as long as it's being kept track of. So it's Lewin's turn. He's a.
I can control him too if you wish me to.
I gave him to you.
You did? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see his character. All right, my bad.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think Lewin is going to.
He's a shield guy primarily. Really, he's got a bastard sword, so he can use it.
Well, his
Either-handedly.
movement's good enough to get him there, so I'm going to charge that guy right there just to get him in front of Evers because he has a shield. I see his combat defense.
Yep, he has shield mastery. So, okay. So you're charging or just moving?
Let me look at his fighting real quick.
So
before I do
his
that.
fighting is 4. And
Oh,
with,
it's 3 on the sheet.
oh, okay. So yeah, it's 3. It's 3 with 2
Long blade.
long
See.
blades. So you would roll. If you charge, you roll 5 and keep 2. If you just move and attack, you roll 5, keep 3.
He'll move an attack then because he's probably
Okay.
a cautious fighter.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your bastard sword. Yeah. So so that's 1 degree of success, and with 5 damage. Sorry.
So I didn't mean to do that. It's 5
That's-
damage, yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, you actually rolled 1 too many dice because the bastard sword actually has training. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just clicked the thing.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Just
redo it.
just click the bastard sword, but that's fine. It was a 7, so so basically, he turns and parries Lewin's blade before it can strike home. All right, Ian.
Ian is going to get between this opponent and Claire. Is he going to strike him or not? There's a guarded attack, right? Let me go look.
There's a cautious attack. You get +2, I think. +2 combat defense, something like that, and -1d. Sounds right. But you also could use that that coordinate.
I could.
Which is.
I don't have any coordination die, but I mean.
But you got will, right? Cautious attack is -1d to your attack +3 combat defense. Or you could just.
10. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do coordinate just to test it out.
What does he have to beat?
12 in combat, so he gets 1 degree. So whoever he chooses to add 3 to their combat roll.
Who's up next? It'll be
Militia. Yeah, militia have been delayed.
Well, I will add it to the 9, the rightmost militiaman.
Okay. That guy. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay, so you can go ahead and have them. So that was a lesser action, right? So you can do another lesser action.
I'm gonna take my other lesser action just to move in front of Claire. That way, there's some sort of like impediment to the opponent there.
Okay. That's fine. So go ahead with your militiaman.
Well, the first one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. But now I'll attack from... So we're going from left to right, always. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
They are going to... does it matter what weapon these guys have?
Just
I assume they only have the swords.
Yeah, if whatever's in there is what they have. Just... Yeah, they should... Yeah.
Well, in that case, that one's going to stay back.
That's one you gave the bonus die to.
I know.
Okay.
He has a longbow.
Okay. Okay, one of them has bow. Okay, gotcha.
That was the sword guy.
What's his damage?
Damage is
4.
4.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. And the bow. This is going to get 4 to strike.
He can aim too, so don't forget that. Since he's not moving. So give him an extra bonus die.
10.
Okay, so that's 10. Or no, I'm sorry, that's 9. So 9 is 1 degree of success. That's not going to be enough. What's his damage? 3?
3.
Okay. Alright, back to the... now we're going to get Evers. He doesn't get 2 moves. This is his first move, so... let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he charges Lewin, and as he does, he's like, "You traitorous scum!" And he's looking at Araldus, not Lewin, as he runs, but Lewin's the closest one. So, all right. Let's see. So he's charging. So it's... All right. What's his defense with his shield?
Defense, Lewin, shield.
It should just be... I've added the shield to his combat, so it's whatever's in the combat defense field.
11.
Alright, so it's 1 degree of success with damage 6. So what is his Lewin's Brigadine, right? So that's 8, so that's nothing.
Yeah, he gets nothing. Well, it's 9 because he has armor mastery.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yep, he does. Okay, so militia is up technically.
Alright, well. Are you sure it's militia? It's
Yep,
not.
they delayed. last turn. That's why they went last. So
okay, yeah.
Mhm.
They are going to same thing.
Okay. Nothing. They basically got to get a 10 to potentially do anything. No.
That's not to the swordsman, it's to the archer.
Yep. Nada for both of them.
Alright.
Araldus.
Araldus throws a barb back at Ebers and goes, "You shouldn't have haggled over that fourth horse," and laughs as he dodges left and right the thrusts of the enemies before striking the one directly south of him. So he will do an aim and a standard attack on the southern one. We'll see if this includes the extra die here.
Did you just bump your test up?
I did. I
Yeah.
bested, so it should be
That's right.
be 8 dice, which it is.
Yeah, that should be right. Yeah, it's 3 degrees of success at damage, what, 6? 5?
5.
15. Yeah. So you stab him in the gut, and he screams in pain and collapses. Claire?
Can Claire shoot through the melee?
Yeah.
Alright, she's going to target the enemy archer.
Yeah, you can shoot through friendlies. Oh, yeah, you can't shoot that far. You could only shoot opponent 2, because you can't shoot through him.
Okay.
You can shoot opponent 2, though. This guy. You want it. Or you can move. You can move, like, here, and then shoot. But you wouldn't be able to aim. Or here, if you wanted. Or here.
Yeah. Oh, still on the...
But from where you're standing, you can only shoot opponent 2.
That works, huh?
Yeah, you can do that.
Alright. Yeah.
So you shoot, and your bolt goes well wide and into the trees.
Critical failure. She shoots herself.
So this guy doesn't like his what's happening with Araldus and moves up this way and attacks. Actually, let me think about this. Yeah, moves up here and attacks one of the militiamen.
Left or top?
Left. So the melee guy. What's his defense?
Defense is 8.
Oh, he whiffed. Bad. So he missed, and so it's the archers now. The archer shoots at Araldus. That's a miss. Oh, well, left-hand dagger should not include... Is there a rule for that? Is it just melee?
No, it's...
It says just +2 defense, period. I mean, he'd still miss without it.
Yeah. I'll have to...
I mean, it's up to you,
Yeah.
but it just says +2 defense.
Yeah, I'll come up with a house rule for that, but yeah, he misses anyway, right? So it doesn't
He's
matter.
like the bad guy from The Scorpion King, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
All right, Lewin.
He is going to. God, I'm looking at the actions. I guess just. Because conscious attack would seem appropriate, but is there a way to lock him down? I wonder.
What do you mean?
Define lock him down.
like to where he couldn't just run around him.
It's called knockdown. Your athletics test has to beat his passive agility, and you knock him to the ground. That is a lesser action. And the nice thing about that is if you succeed, you then can do a lesser attack or standard attack on him, and you gain plus 1d on your fighting test.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Actually.
It's overpowered, but go ahead.
It's a giant bitch move in a different game I'm playing that I'm going to complain about incessantly.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take advantage of the situation, but
No, go ahead. I haven't written any house rules for it yet, so yeah, you did that, but Assad did that to me, so I don't have any.
Oh, bullshit. You did that to me nonstop. Kept knocking him down.
Oh, was that me? Okay, I thought you did it to
that
me.
was you. It was the other. See, I learned from you because the one guy did will coordinate, and he had a will coordinate of 5, so he kept adding plus 10 to Gerald Storm's attack on poor Ollie. And then we were on the stairs, and he kept doing knockdown lesser attack to Assad.
that's wow.
I would never do such a thing.
So it's
Yeah, you can knock down. Yeah, it's athletics. Oh god.
Holy.
Well, he's definitely knocked down.
It's like a leg sweep. It's not a full strike. He just like sweeps his leg out from underneath him.
Pops him with shield.
So you can then attack him now.
Right, follow that up. Follow
1d. Yeah.
The ground and pound. Not so much.
Yeah, so you're rolling. You roll blah 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 blah.
You roll one more
Yeah.
d, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's not. Hold on. I guess so. Yeah, 4. So that's a 12 versus his.
It's an 11.
No.
It is because 2.
You guys subtract the one from.
He gets 4d, not 3d.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, 13.
Yeah. So that basically does he? So he doesn't get a negative as combat defense. You just get a positive to your roll, right? So
Correct.
So that's versus 10. So that's 1 degree of success. So you just swing your sword down, and it just bounces off his plate armor.
Just like Assad.
He's got a. He's not dead, I don't imagine, because.
No, I don't know who put
what we can.
who put the cross through him. You take that off.
You might have double clicked it because when you
did
open
I?
that thing up.
Oh, I thought that was the. Okay, yeah, gotcha. All right. So that was Lewin. Ian.
Ian is going to coordinate. Let's see who goes after me. It'd be the militia, but I'm going to coordinate Araldus, see if I can manage that. Oh. And lesser action. We will. I don't suppose there's any rule against doing it twice, no?
There is. You cannot. You cannot.
Oh, I can't use the same action.
Yep, you cannot do the same lesser action twice in one turn, or you'd be able to attack till the cows come home. Right. So, question. So, who did you coordinate to?
He failed.
He failed. You're right. Yep. Okay. So, I know you've been talking about this. So, do I get any penalty from attacking off my back?
You do not.
I didn't think so.
What armor is he wearing?
Half plate.
A greater action is required to
Stand up. Yep.
But you can attack with no penalty. It's just the people attacking you gain a advantage.
Right. I'm not just going to be knocked down ad nauseum. So 19 versus Lewin's
11, so he's getting 2 degrees.
2 degrees. That's 8 damage. It still doesn't punch through.
Nope.
So he rolls to his knees and tries to stab up at you, but is unable to get anything through. All right, militia.
I'm gonna do a lesser action aim than attack.
Okay.
On both of them, I would.
Yep. Holy crap. Well, the 18 hits, 3 degrees of success. What's the damage?
4. Well, it'd be 12.
So, okay, so that kills this guy. So you hack him down, and as Ever sees his men getting killed, he throws his weapon aside, and he's like, I ask for mercy.
Araldus chimes in. What about the archer?
The archer throws his weapon down after Sir Ebers seems to give up.
I ask you to spare him, young Lewin. He could provide information.
I'll let you decide what Lewin does.
Well, can you give me like a little bit of like? Well, you know what? I'll say Lewin spares him, only to the fact that maybe he like punches him out, like knocks him out.
Okay, hits him with the hilt of the sword and knocks him unconscious.
Yeah, he probably issues some command to his militiamen to go get the archer and tie him up, and the effect of gagging him and all the other business.
Okay, they do.
And you can take him from there.
Okay. So you take everybody back, plus the horses that are there. They have their horses, plus the extra courser they're bringing for you, back to Bear's Crossing. So you head back down into the village, and you barely took a scrape in the entire fighting, everyone. So it was a very good success. Anybody? So you walk back into town, and as you come in, the militia cheer. Whoops.
Lou and I wish not to put a dour mood on the situation, but he would have undoubtedly told his men where he was going, and we did spend a day with them, so they do know that if the deal would have gone awry, they know where he would have been.
Like
It's
Lewin,
like a HUD.
yeah, Lewin throws up his hands and he's like, "They're going to come here and kill us all. We have to evacuate the village now."
Yes, you do.
He's like, "My lord, I need your help. These people can't defend themselves, and I can't defend them just by myself. We're going to have upwards of 30 people marching away from this place to the nearest safe spot, which is days away. And we're going to be moving slow. There's women and children."
Ian looks to his two compatriots and says, "Well, Claire, this may not have been the easiest way, but it's the way we chose, no?"
Claire shrugs and nods.
Well, Squire Lewin, I will say that you'll have our support in this, most definitely. We've come this far, we may as well continue. I wouldn't turn my back on the small folk any day.
So Lewin nods and he's like, "I appreciate it, my lord. I'll get you to the North Tower as quickly as we can. But for now, we need to move." And he starts running around the town, basically mustering people to go. Most of these people are going to be on foot. And that is, technically, that's it. I just wanted to run two intrigues for you guys and small combat and try to show you what the real intrigues look like when you're doing back and forth intrigues.
Back.
Okay. Basically, what you missed is you guys went back to Bear's Crossing and Ian told Lewin that they probably knew where you were and where you're going, and so they would probably be coming. And Lewin essentially says that you need to evacuate the town. And Ian somewhat agreed. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, he basically, because Ian's not, he from what you can tell about his island and the way he treats his people, he probably treats them, and he does treat them very well. He pays them well, he treats them well, and he's never had any complaints with, or anything to go awry in his own lands, and he treats his workers well, especially those that live on that shitty island that he owns. So, maybe he has, a connection to the small folk. And that's what I like to envision Ian is. He's conniving and he thinks big, but got a heart. Somewhat leaky and broken one, but...
You got anything, Araldus?
No, he's true to his word and helps evacuate the small folk out of the town before a response can be sent from the crossings men.
All right. Claire, you got anything?
No, Claire would really be all about trying to help the small folk.
Since she is one.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes today. Like I was telling them, I just wanted to do a full intrigue so you could see the difference, kind of.
It does take a lot longer.
It definitely does take a lot longer, and it makes no sense when you're not